The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 49 of the Daily Swole. Today, going to be talking about ketosis. I know a lot of you always have questions about fat loss, about losing weight, about seeing some change when you're having stubborn belly fat, stubborn body fat that just won't quit, won't go away. So ketosis is a valuable or a valid option. Now, some of you might have heard this term. You might have heard your doctor talk about it. If you have diabetes or if you have something along those lines, any kind of metabolic syndrome, you may also have heard of ketosis because just the resurgence of fat not being pretty much demonized anymore, that healthy fats or saturated fats aren't necessarily bad for you. Ketosis has come much more to the forefront in terms of nutrition, and if it's a valuable resource and a valuable way of eating. So let's talk a little bit about ketosis, what it is. Normally, when you eat food, you eat carbohydrates. You're eating carbohydrates. You're eating food or a diet that is higher in carbohydrates. Now, what that means is, let's say you're eating oats, you're eating bread, you're eating pasta, brown rice, sweet potatoes. Those types of carbohydrates tend to be released into the body and enter the bloodstream in the form of glucose. It gets stored as glucose and glycogen in the body stores. So when you're doing activity, when you're going through your day, your body is tapping into those sugar stores for energy. So your body, let's say you're doing a sprint, you're playing a sport, you're lifting weights, you're just doing your daily processes, your body is more prone to utilizing blood glucose and sugar in the blood. This is not a bad thing. This is the body's generally preferred and most readily usable form of energy. That's why for quick explosive activity, when your body needs energy really fast, glucose is very much needed, and that's what's utilized. So your body prefers to use glucose because it's easy to access, it's easy to break down for explosive energy. This is a good thing. When you're trying to lose excess body fat, this could be a challenge because if you're eating carbohydrates, your body is going on that type of, insulin roller coaster where your body will release insulin from the pancreas to absorb glucose and your body will release glucagon to release glycogen and break down sugar from the muscle and from the liver. While your body is dealing with those insulin roller coasters, it's less likely to utilize fats. Now, I'm talking about the fat that's on your body. What if there was a way for your body to make the fat stores that are already on you the source of energy that you take throughout the day? Isn't that the main goal when you're trying to lose weight? You're not trying to lose and burn calories that you're consuming. You want to burn what's on your stomach. You want to burn what's on your body already. So what if I were to tell you that there is a way that might very well be the answer for you to burn the fat that's stored on your body, and that would be ketosis. How this actually occurs, and it happens when your body is fasting, when there isn't any carbohydrates present, your body will do this naturally, but you can actually put your body into this fat-burning state. You can actually put your body into a ketotic state with a ketogenic diet, and it puts your body into an environment, and it's known as ketosis, a metabolic function. And this is how your body will actually break down energy, and it takes it from ketone bodies in the blood rather than blood glucose. So ketone bodies, and that's just an organic, I guess it's a chemical molecular term, a ketone. So your body actually produces this from liver. And this is a result, like I said, of fasting when there's no carbohydrates or no food present. And there's also a situation when there's low carbohydrates. So if you are increasing fat, decreasing carbs, there are less carbs present, so your body will be more prone to generating calories and energy from fat stores on the body, processed by the liver and released as ketone bodies. So your body is not using glucose and glycogen. Your body leaves glycolysis. And the only thing, what glycolysis means, it's glucose and The lysis means breakdown. That's just a suffix for breakdown. So glycolysis, that just means a breakdown of glucose. Your body isn't tapping into glucose anymore. It's tapping into fat, into those oxidative stores. Now, you might have realized or learned in your own studies or from my previous podcast, from my Swolenormous Premium private page on Facebook, that you have 4 calories possible from every gram of protein, 4 calories from every gram of carbohydrates, and 9 calories from every gram of fat. So your body can actually generate more energy in that sense from fat, which is why ketosis and why eating a high-fat diet is a very satisfying, a very viable way to consume food throughout the day. So your fat reserves are more readily released when you take on a ketogenic diet. It's great for weight loss and has also been shown to improve insulin sensitivity for those that have diabetes or borderline diabetic. So if you have any kind of insulin issues, it can be very beneficial for that. And because you're getting more calories per gram, it's very satisfying. You don't really have to kind of measure your food as much. You don't have to sit there and weigh and measure every last detail, because since your body will be in a fat-burning state, and since you're consuming pretty much 75, 80, 85% fat in your diet, you are really not required to be as meticulous with your fat calculations. And someone on Busker was just saying how keto fixed my hyperthyroid. Yeah, it can really help metabolic processes. And the thyroid regulates metabolism. So when you are really focusing on fats, your body really kind of resets, hits that big red reset button, and starts balancing out normal metabolic function. So if you have issues, if you've been addicted to sugar, if you've been eating a high carbohydrate diet, if you have issues with metabolism, if you're struggling to lose weight, I highly recommend ketosis. I would say I'm not in ketosis because I do eat carbs, but I eat carbs later in the day and I eat them around my workout. So right now I've been fasting. I've been drinking my bulletproof coffee. So I've been doing, for example, my grass-fed butter and my MCT oil in my coffee, and I'll do that till the afternoon. I'll have a nice carbohydrate meal. I'll work out or I'll teach yoga, and I keep my calories in the afternoon and evening anywhere between like 3 and let's say 9, 10 o'clock at night. But I eat my carbohydrates because I do a lot of weight training. And my final point when it comes to ketosis is that it's not really ideal for performance. If you're doing a lot of activity, if you're an athlete, if you do a lot of, I want to say sprinting, but if you do a lot of sports, if you're looking for performance, if you're a bodybuilder and you're trying to bulk up, ketosis is not ideal. Now, there's different types of ketosis. There's like specific ketosis diets. There's different, and there's not a lot of research on these. In other words, you could do ketosis when you're not exercising, then around your workout, you up the carbohydrates. Because when you're doing bodybuilding, because when you're trying to build muscle, because the muscles feed off of glycogen, they feed off of glucose. If glucose isn't present, it's a lot harder for them to increase size. It's a lot harder for you to have a high strength output. That's why a lot of these carbohydrate or these athletic diets are high in carbohydrates, because when you're lifting weights, when you're doing bodybuilding type sets, when you're doing explosive activity, your body utilizes glucose. So if there's no glucose present, it makes it pretty hard for the muscle to function efficiently. It makes it pretty hard for them to grow and to create that kind of increased hypertrophy, so to speak. So if you're looking for weight loss, I highly recommend ketosis. If you are looking for performance enhancement, if you're looking to build muscle, you definitely need at least a moderate carbohydrate diet. Doesn't mean you can't do more of a ketosis style nutrition away from when you're working out, but you definitely need to have more carbohydrates in your system. Another point to understand, when you're doing ketosis, you have to make sure that your protein intake isn't too high, because your body, about 5 to 10% of all calories that you consume during the day is done through gluconeogenesis. And what that means is your body will actually use protein and break down protein, and the amino acids from protein, your body will actually take them like Legos and building blocks and put them together and create glucose molecules. So if you're eating too much protein, your body will actually convert too much glucose from the protein, and it can actually take you out of ketosis. So generally, if you want to be in ketosis, you have to be consuming less than I believe it's anywhere between 30 and 50, below about probably, I would say 30, the lower the better, of carbohydrates, net carbohydrates per day. So that means the carbohydrates you're consuming minus fiber, because fiber doesn't get digested in that sense. So insoluble fiber and soluble fiber. So if you're eating, let's say 100 grams of carbs and 80 grams of fiber, that's a lot, a shitload of fiber. No pun intended, because you'd be on the toilet. If you are eating, let's say 50 grams of carbohydrates and you're eating 35 grams of fiber, your net carbs are 15. So you're still under that ceiling for ketosis. So you want to keep your protein moderate. You want to keep your carbohydrates extremely low. You can eat lots of vegetables, eat lots of fibrous vegetables and fibrous foods, and then up the fat. And that saturated fat is going to come from anywhere from, let's say, meats, grass-fed meat. You can definitely eat very fatty cuts of meat with a high fat, but it has to be grass-fed. You don't want to get grain because that's shitty meat. Grass-fed meat, whole eggs, pastured eggs. I'm not a big fan of dairy, but if you don't have any issues and if it's really your preference and you try it and you like it, you could do really like raw milks or raw cheeses are better. I'm not even going to touch pasteurized. I'm not even going to get into that in this topic. High fats, avocados, coconut oil, all those really healthy fats are beneficial. Now, a lot of these saturated fats are good for you if you get them from good sources. If you're eating pasteurized whole milk and, let's say store brand cheese and your, let's say grain-fed beef, I'm not saying you can't lose weight, but you're also getting a lot of those antibiotics and all those like really crappy things that these animals are eating that get stored in their fatty tissue. So the healthier, the better when it comes to those types of sources. I'm not a big fan of dairy. Someone's mentioning on Periscope, I lost 60 pounds during ketosis. Yeah. And it's the kind of thing that you're satisfied. You're not hungry. You're not going to be hungry when you're on. Trust me, you're eating tons of fat. You're not going to be hungry. Yeah, 60 pounds in 4 months, and that's a fast weight loss. But at the same time, that's a maintainable space. You're not losing 60 pounds in a month. That's not a rebound. And it's something that you're going to maintain. Now, you can gradually increase your carbohydrates later on, but you're not going to gain that kind of weight back. First off, you cut carbohydrates, you lose water right away. But once your body regulates metabolism and like repairs your thyroid and helps regulate insulin, fix your insulin levels, you'll be able to maintain that. And keto breath can be real. The ketone bodies can create a certain breath. I haven't really talked to many people that have actually had that, but you can do some kind of like some kind of natural breath cleanser. I figured that out, but it's worth it. If you have a lot of weight to lose, it's worth it. Doesn't mean you have to be on keto the rest of your life. Doesn't mean you can never have, and that's a big misconception. Once you're on keto for a while, it doesn't mean you can never have carbs again. But let's say you go out for dinner and you have a celebration, you want some ice cream or, you have like some carbs. Okay. And then after that meal, you go right back to eating, your high fat diet and your body won't be knocked out of ketosis. At the beginning, you might feel, here's some of the things. If you go into ketosis, the first couple weeks might be rough. You might feel a surge of energy, but you also might get things what's known as keto flu, where you have kind of like flu-like symptoms, maybe runny nose, you feel sluggish, you feel kind of foggy. And that's because your body is shifting over into consuming more, shifting into fat burning or fat adapted mode. So it's normal. You might have actually like digestive issues, diarrhea, something. Give it 3 or 4 weeks, keep an eye on it, drink plenty of fluids, and stay with it. Because after that first couple weeks, it depends. Some people don't have it. Some people have it short. Some people get it worse. But your body has to adapt. Understand that your body, your whole life has been focused on digesting carbohydrates, digesting sugar. And now all of a sudden you're like, you're going to do fat now. And your body's like, what is this? I don't like. So give your body some time. And if you're having constipation or issues, make sure you're upping the fiber. Just because you're having high fat doesn't mean that you're stopping eating vegetables. That's another misconception. Doesn't mean you're not eating veggies. You're still eating a ton of vegetables. But vegetables don't have, you're not spiking. You're not spiking your insulin with vegetables. Make sure you're eating whole vegetables. Make sure if you're blending the fiber too. You're not just juicing because you'll be getting, you'll keep yourself out of ketosis by juicing because you're eliminating the fiber in many cases. So make sure you're doing the correct vegetables. Kale. Some vegetables have more sugar than others. So things like carrots are high in sugar. So make sure you're eating fibrous, low glucose vegetables. Okay? So if you're interested in losing weight, look into ketosis. It's a viable option. It's not unhealthy. It's very safe. And it's something that could absolutely change your life. Absolutely change your life. So There's a lot more information where this came from. I'm putting together a lot more ebooks and resources, kind of like my own Swolenormous premium library. So if you're interested in learning more, if you're interested in getting more involved with fat loss, with weight loss, with community accountability, and just higher level education, check out my website, Swolenormous.com, for access to my premium page on Facebook, which is phenomenal. I'm actually going to upload a lot more stuff right now. So all this stuff is going to be put on premium. I have a lot of exclusive videos, a lot of exclusive content that's specifically educating a tight-knit group of people that are looking for direct assistance and accountability and motivation. So check that out, www.swolenormous.com. Thank you for joining me on YouTube, on Periscope, Busker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and the iTunes for episode 49 of The Daily Mother. Ooh, cracking again. Swole. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you tomorrow for episode 50, the big 50 Daily Swole. I cannot believe it. Episode 50. We might have a special guest tomorrow. Who's it going to be? I wonder. See you tomorrow for the Daily Swole. Peace out.